Welcome to the Real Estate Scripts Podcast, the show that helps you know what to say when you're talking to buyers and sellers so that you can close more deals and earn more money. I'm Darren Tunstall, a real estate professional, coach, and #1 best-selling author. Let's get into this. Before we begin today's episode, I want to clarify some important points. I am a licensed real estate agent and my DRE number is 018534445. It's crucial to note that this podcast operates independently of my affiliation with Keller Williams Realty and any realtor associations. My primary goal with this podcast is to provide you, our listeners, with valuable information, insights, and practical tools. As a reminder, the purpose of Scripts and Dialogues is to come, learn, practice, and be prepared to fail forward. This is where we make mistakes and help each other out, but we're mostly interested in seeing how we can get better. First, we read through the script word for word, and then we go back and put it into our own natural tone, style, and phrasing. You won't know what to say until you go through the script. So, with that said, many people will say, that's not how I sound, and I totally get it. That's not how you sound. But that is the reason why we practice every day, so that the script becomes you and in your own voice. So, read it word for word first, then go back and put it into your own natural tone, style, and phrasing, and I think it'll work out. Okay, so today we are on still buyer's objections, and today we're going over I am in a lease. So you're talking to a buyer, they're in a lease, they want to buy a house, and in this scenario, the buyer reveals that they are in a lease. You navigate the situation by asking about the length of the lease, suggesting options for an early exit, and expressing readiness to guide the buyer. The goal is to build trust and encourage the buyer to consider working with you in their home search. Requirements are in-depth market knowledge, strong communication skills, negotiation expertise, and problem-solving abilities. The intention is to address the buyer's situation, guide them through the potential options, and build trust, ultimately leading to the buyer expressing a desire to work with you in finding a home. And so that is the script. We'll pair you up, and the person buying is going to start the objection just by, you're kind of in the middle of a conversation, right? They're throwing all these things at you. This is just one portion of the script. And one of the objections that they throw out is, I'm in a lease right now, so I probably kind of want to wait. And we just do a little bit of discovery on that. And before we get started on that, some other solutions too is, when you're talking to your buyers, you can have them factor, breaking a lease maybe into their budget. We can negotiate that into the purchase price of the home. We can also talk to the lender and see if there's any closing cost assistance or anything like that as well. And also just looking at flexible closing dates. So there's a few things that we can take a look at, especially when it comes down to advising or negotiating. All right, so with that said, we ready to break out and go at this?
Yep.
My suggestion is go through the script as is, do it a second or a third time, and put it in your own tone, style, and phrasing. Put it in your own words. Don't even look at the script after that. So let's go ahead and break this out. All right. So let's have Derek be the agent first, and Emily is given the objection, and we'll go from there. I'll set the timer for 3 minutes each to begin with. When you're ready.
So, Derek, everything you say is great, and you've helped me a lot, but I'm still in my lease.
Emily, hi, Emily. Yeah, I can understand your concerns with that. We do have a few options, so let me ask you a couple questions. I'm just curious, how much longer do you have on the current lease?
It's like 4 months.
About 4 months. Okay. Well, depending on how serious you are on buying a home, there might be an option of getting out of the lease early. My suggestion is to talk to the property manager and have that conversation. Do you happen to have a good relationship with the property manager?
To be honest, no, they're horrible.
Okay, no problem. I can help set that up for you if need be. Also, if the lease is less than 3 months, it's fairly easy for us to make that transition. And if your lease is greater than 3 months, we might need to do some negotiating with the property manager, see if we can get you out of that lease early based on, you purchasing your home. And so either way, I'm here to help you with the process. I know you said it was 4 months. So yeah, I think we should just check in with I think we should check in, have that conversation with the property manager, explore some of those options, and then we can gather all that information and make an educated decision on how to move forward.
Actually, I'm wrong. It's 6 months.
6 months? Okay. 6 months is it's that, like I said, I think it's worth having that conversation with the property manager first and foremost. And then if you do have any other concerns that you'd like to address, I'm here to help you with the leasing process and obviously the process of purchasing a home. So please feel free to reach out to me at any time. And yeah, let's do our due diligence and we can follow up next week.
Okay. That sounds good. I probably gonna wait a little bit, but I really like you. You've already taught me a lot, but I think maybe in a few months we'll start looking again.
Yeah, Emily. So, I understand where you're in with the lease, and I'll definitely take that into all the consideration, and we'll stay in touch. I'll continue to send you information on the homes and things that we discussed, and we can go from there. I'm really looking forward to this process and helping you through it. And please reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns at all. You have my telephone number and email, and we'll be in touch.
Okay, thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Emily. Bye-bye.
All right, let's reverse roles. Derek, you're starting with the objection.
Okay. Emily, how are you today?
Hold on. Stop it. Sorry.
Emily, don't talk to me like that.
Uh, wow, that was a quick timer. Okay,
Oh, sorry, I
my
forgot to
dogs were
reset it.
Emily.
ready to go at it.
I didn't even see the timer. I missed that, but that's
You
funny.
did great though.
Okay, yeah, you did.
Okay. Okay. So Emily, I just wanted to follow up with you. I went back and looked at, what the situation I'm in right now, and I am still in a lease right now, so I'm a little concerned on how that would work.
Okay, I'm just curious, how much longer do you have on the lease, Derek?
It's about, I think it's like 4 to 6 months, I want to say. I'd have to just double check at that paperwork.
Okay, well, depending on how serious you are about buying a home, there might be some options of getting you out of the lease early, or at least helping you with closing costs or something like that from the lender, or, flexible closing dates. We might be able to get you out of the lease by, working that into the loan. My suggestion is talk with your property manager, have a conversation with them, let them know that you want to buy. If the lease is less than 3 months, because you sound like you're not sure, then we can make it work pretty easy. If your lease is more than 3 months, then we might need to do some negotiating with the property manager and, with the lender. And obviously, if you find a home that you want to purchase with the other side. So either way, I'm here to help you through the whole process. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. And but after looking things over, it is about 6 months actually. I have on the lease, Emily.
Okay.
Is that going to be a
Got it.
problem?
No, absolutely not. 6 months is totally manageable. It's worth having that conversation with your property manager. Let them know, explore your options. Once you gather that information, we kind of can discuss how to move forward in your home search. I mean, you don't want to keep paying rent, right? So I'm here to guide you through the process and make it as smooth as possible. Any concerns or questions that you'd like me to address about the lease or your home buying process at this time?
No, I mean, other than the fact that, I want to get the home in about 90 days or so. I have a 3 month window and, the lease being 6 months, I'm just a little concerned. I don't want to waste any money there.
Right.
So as long as you can, make sure that that doesn't happen, I'm fine with, you know, exploring those options you mentioned.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, talk to your property manager. Let's touch base in a couple days. All right. And
Okay.
we'll see where to go from there. Sound good?
Yep, that sounds good to me.
Awesome, Derek. Thank you so much. And I'm even, if you don't want to wait 2 days, give me a call if you have any questions in the meantime. Okay.
Absolutely.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Talk to you soon.
Awesome. So that was great. So before we do another round of that and do it in your own words, just curious, what might you want to consider this time around? Or what were you thinking? What was on your mind? Like, this would be cool to say this, or this would be cool to say that, just to give us some ideas.
I just think that, like, we've been in this situation before, like, oh, that's fine. I've been in this situation before, like, just handle like a professional and kind of move on.
Okay, so it's
That is
natural.
a good idea because that does happen a lot. I mean, 3 of my potential buyers are in that situation. They wanted to wait for rates to go down and they're in a lease. So,
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's it.
yeah,
This is a
But
very
just
real
being,
scenario, especially
absolutely.
for first time home buyers, especially.
Yep.
it's all
And
about timing, right? Like, it's about getting that timing down. But I
Hmm.
think that's a good one. So, like saying you've been there before, and then yeah, just the timing of the situation.
absolutely. And, 3 months, 6 months, it does take some preparation to get them pre-approved, do their needs and wants analysis as well. So that could take, a little bit of time as well. It's not going to take 6 months, but there are some things that we need to do to get them prepped and ready to go to purchase. And then we can just start going out and helping them look. And as a reminder, some of those things are, factor into the budget, right? Well, number one is to have them talk to their property manager because communication is clarity. You have that conversation, you put everything out on the table. This is exactly what it is. So that, because when you start talking to management, they get a little crazy too sometimes, but it's understandable because you put someone under a contract. But thinking about their budget, can this be negotiated into the purchase price? The other thing is, talk to the lender that you're working with or the client is working with. Is there any type of assistance on this as well? And then the last one is, if they do want to make an offer, is there flexible closing dates with the seller? Is the seller willing to sell the property and still do like a rent back situation for like a couple of months until the lease is up? So
But
there's
then
there's
and then you got to talk to the lender too on stuff like that too.
yep,
'Cause
yep.
it's more than what, 29 days?
Everything's got to be disclosed and discussed and absolutely. So there's options. It's just, knowing what some of those scenarios are. And, also I would say having a discussion with other people in the office, like the broker or some other people that who have may have been in this type of a situation,
So let me
other
ask you this, would it be like a credit if they say they can't get out of their lease and the property manager wants the entire amount? Would that be
Mhm.
like a credit from the seller or how does that work?
I don't know that they're going to get their money regardless, it
And
could
it comes out of
potentially
escrow?
it could potentially come out of escrow. It just all depends on how it's negotiated. It could just be them writing a check and then they save the difference on their purchase price or, it's where the money is coming from. It could the lender could make up for the difference, but either way, that person is going or that company is going to get their money. So it just all depends on how you negotiate it. Yeah, it could be a credit. It could come through escrow. It could come, they could be reimbursed later on through the sale of the price of the home or through the sale of the home,
Okay.
stuff like that. So it just depends on on the scenario and what the client comes back up with as well. So,
Right.
all right, let's reverse. Well, let's start over again. I think it was Derek is the agent.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
First
And
time.
Emily, yeah, and Emily, you're starting it. This time we're
Yep.
going to put it in our own words and go all natural.
Okay. So Derek, you've been super helpful, but I'm gonna lease. I'm just gonna wait because this lease, I'm pretty strapped into it. Can't get out of it.
Oh yeah, strapped into it. I understand your concerns with the lease. We seem to have these situations come up a lot, where someone's in a lease and they need some advice on how to handle the situation. And what I recommend for them, Emily, is to, reach out to your property manager first and foremost and just feel them out. See what they feel about, you purchasing your home. Talk about your dreams, talk about your dream home, get them on your side. Let them know that we're not trying to screw them over or anything. We'll try to fulfill your spot as soon as we can. But I think starting there And then from there, we can kind of, get some questions answered and then figure out a game plan, which I'm the expert at on that side. How do you feel about that?
Okay, so you think I can get out of my lease without being penalized, or what do you think?
I think what we do is we talk to the property manager. She'll give us all the information and you could kind of break down a few different scenarios. You could totally let me know if you need some help with like the different scenarios, whether it's a 3-month lease or a 6-month. Let me ask you something. How much longer do you have left in the lease? Do you know that?
It's about 6 months, I think.
6 months. Okay. Yeah. 6 months isn't that far at all. It's definitely something manageable. And like I said, we've done this in the past. So, I think, between my expertise in timing everything appropriately, and keeping great communication between you, the lender, myself, and the seller's agent for that matter,
Mhm.
we can make sure it all works out well for you. But it will get everything in writing and everybody to sign off on it, and then we can move forward.
All right, Derek. Well, I'll give them a call. I'm to be honest, I'm not that hopeful, but you've given me some things to think about. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and let me know if you need any help at all with the property manager. I've dealt with a lot of property managers in the past. So if they have any questions or concerns, I'd be more than happy to just hop in there and answer that for you. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. All right. Talk soon. Thanks. Bye.
Hmm.
Very good. All right, let's reverse roles.
40 seconds. No.
Derek, you go.
Oh, sorry. I'll start this out. Okay. Hey, Emily. Hey, what's going on? So, thanks for getting back to me. I found out that I am in a lease and, I just wanted to see how that would, complicate things or if not.
Not really. I mean, it depends on, how long you're in your lease. Do you know how much you'll have left on it?
Yeah, I have about 6 months left on this lease. I think it ends up like maybe in like July, I want to say.
Okay. Well, that's totally doable. Actually, that might be in your favor because rates are kind of on the way down this year. So that
Yeah.
might be a good thing, to be honest. And as far as leases, we can always negotiate with your property manager. If you find a home before your lease is up, we can negotiate getting out of that lease or what that looks like. What I recommend is let's get you pre-approved. Okay. At least start the process, talk to a lender, and then we can talk to the property manager, see what they have to say, see what happens if you were to try and get out of that lease like a month or two early. Um, See what
Yeah,
they have to say, because we might be able to negotiate that within the whole sale or purchase of the home.
really. Yeah,
Yeah.
my friend was telling me something about a rent back. Do you know anything about that?
Rent backs are like when you purchase a home, but the seller stays in the home and they pay you. You've bought the home, but they pay you for the rent. So if they stay in the home
Ah,
2 extra months, they'll pay you 2 months rent.
okay, okay.
You still
So
own the
that could
home.
work
So
for me then, right? That could,
absolutely.
yeah.
And it could work for them if, they don't have a hard move out time and they need more time to look for wherever it is they're moving. Sometimes it can be a win-win in that situation.
Wow, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah. So
No,
anyways,
that's
there's a
great.
lot of options.
Yep. All right. All right. I
So talk
like
to
it.
your
I like
property
it.
manager. I'm
Okay.
going to send you out some lenders that I want you to call and kind of talk to them, see where you land as far as how much you can afford to purchase at this time with your income and debt and all that figured
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And then I'll
Yeah.
call you in
Link
a
me up
couple
with
days.
them. That sounds great. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Derek.
Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Nice. Very good.
That was good.
So
All within 2 minutes, right?
all within two
I mean,
minutes we
that's a two
have.
minute conversation. I feel like you get a lot in there.
I
Mhm.
know, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't take long. Once you have the content down, it's all just coming off the top of your head. This is the purpose of daily practice and consistency. It's just like anything else. It's just eventually it's going to become second nature. And you're right, you can pack so much information into a 3-minute call or conversation. Debbie and Nathan, how'd it go for you?
Good.
Great.
Really
We
a
both
lot.
bought houses. We both had agreements from our landlords to leave. It was fantastic.
So we had some discussion as well, and I'll ask you guys the same thing. What else is there to consider when, helping a client through potentially breaking a lease or maybe having to wait it out for some time, things like that? What other ideas do you guys have?
We talked about talking to a lender, uh, really narrowing down on what you might actually qualify for and what you're actually looking at, and make sure that within that range you'd actually be happy about moving. We talked about some of the negotiation or discussion for how to break a lease, how to get out of a lease, and getting it in writing from the manager. Debbie brought up a great point that in her character, she got burned by a landlord in the past because they said, sure, no problem. And then she ended up in small claims court. And so we kind of just talked about how, it needs to be legally that you are out of the lease, not just verbally.
That's very true. Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah,
because
that happened to me too, as far as not getting a walkthrough. And then they came back and charged us with a bunch of stuff,
Uh,
quick cleaning and, stuff.
yeah. The other thing is, I'm not sure if Nathan and Debbie, I didn't hear it here with Derek and Emily, but also, offered to talk to the manager. Every once in a while when we're talking to a seller who might be interviewing other agents, we say, hey, I'm happy to call that other agent for you and let them know that you've gone with me. Be willing to call the manager as well and say, hey, I have a client. It could be general. They don't need to know who it is, right out the bat. But just fact finding as well. Or you can tell them, hey, I'm working with so and so. They really want to buy a house. I'm their agent. What's it going to take to get them out of this lease a little earlier? And, if the person really doesn't, because some people they'd rather not have the conversation. They'd rather just wait it out because they're afraid or whatever. I don't know, but offer to be that person for them.
yeah, Debbie did that in our call. She offered to make the call, which was nice.
Awesome. Very good. Cool. So, all right. Well, that's pretty much it for this script. Anything else you guys want to add before we're finished here?
No.
You're on mute, Derek.
Have a wonderful day, everybody. We'll see you later on.
Yeah.
Bye,
All
Derek.
right. You guys do.
Bye.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.
All right, so that's the script. I hope that you found it useful. Just head over to realestatescriptspractice.com for more resources and downloads. This podcast is for the purpose of education only, and it does not make any guarantees. We suggest you seek out the help of your broker, coach, mentor, CPA, or attorney. Brought to you by Darren Tunstall, California DRE number 018534445.